Help us, signal callers. You're our only hope. Aaron Rodgers returns for the Packers. Running the table is going to be tough, though, with the Panthers in their way today. Nick Foles, it's your show in Philly. The Eagles trying to clinch home field advantage today. The Bills currently hold a wild card spot in the AFC. Tyrod Taylor back at quarterback. No blizzard in Buffalo today, but freezing temperatures as Miami comes to town. And Drew Brees quarterbacking the most balanced offense he's ever had. Big favorites today against the New York Jets. Let's get it started. Hi, everyone, and welcome to NFL Red Zone, presented by Amazon Prime. Scott Hansen here on one of the most wide-open Sundays of the season. We have 11 games on the show today. 9 of those 11 games feature a team currently in playoff positioning. Clinching scenarios here on Red Zone. Are you ready for this? We could see clinched today on the show. Home field advantage in the AFC, home field advantage in the NFC. One of the buys in the AFC, one of the buys in the NFC. 2 playoff spots in the AFC East title, and the NFC North title. I'm trying to say, buckle up. It's going to be a wild day. Here's the menu of games kicking off in a matter of moments. 8 games in the early window. The Buffalo Bills, Tyrod Taylor back from the knee injury. He missed last week. Bills currently hold the 6th seed in the AFC. Packers and Panthers, Carolina's currently the 5 seed in the NFC. Ravens and Browns, Baltimore trying to get back in playoff positioning in the AFC. The Jaguars host the Texans. Jacksonville can clinch a playoff berth with a win or a Baltimore loss today. Elsewhere, the Minnesota Vikings at home against the Bengals. Minnesota can clinch the NFC North with a win in that game today. The Saints currently lead the NFC South. New Orleans at home against the Jets today. The Eagles and Giants. Philadelphia can clinch a first-round bye with a win. They could also clinch home field advantage. We'll explain that later on. And Washington at home today against the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals not eliminated just yet. We're ready for the first of 8 kickoffs. Carolina sends it to the sky as we say 7 hours of commercial-free football start now. That kickoff goes into the end zone. They'll start on the 25-yard line with the return of a man who has 2 plates and 13 screws inserted into that surgically repaired collarbone. The former MVP, Aaron Rodgers. He'll take the first snap of the game there in Carolina as we go to the Octo Box, showing you all 8 games underway across the National Football League. We have a 1 seed, a 2 seed, a 3 seed, a 4 seed, a 5 seed, and a 6 seed all playing in this early window.
Against a tough Panthers team. First throw, pass caught. Welcome back. First down, Davante Adams, and a gain of 12.
Come out of the first play of the game, and they're throwing the quick game. And I know watching Aaron Rodgers in warm-ups and the way he was throwing the ball, the media reports all week long were that the shoulder did not appear to be a factor. And I can tell you, watching him up during the preseason, it's been pretty remarkable. Does not seem to be a factor whatsoever. Had a ton of velocity on every throw.
Davante Adams limped off after that first catch, and here's a handoff to Jamal Williams running over the left side, and he picks up 3. Now Davante Adams on the sideline. Here he is limping off.
Let's check in with the Minnesota Vikings. They come into the day as the 2 seed in the NFC. First down, it was a sack. Second down, it's a screen pass, and Latavius Murray, all kinds of room. Not only gets the 19 yards he needed for a first down, that's a 28-yard pickup for Murray on the second play from scrimmage.
Blue 58! Blue 58!
On second down, Rodgers throws high and away and incomplete for Jordy Nelson. I liked what Mike McCarthy told us about the play calling for Aaron Rodgers and how protective will you be of that collarbone and the hits. He said Aaron cannot know or think that I'm worried about him getting hit.
He's got to turn it loose, and although he did say that those designed runs that they had in the game plan on Monday before they knew whether or not Rodgers was going to play, that they had in for Brett Hundley are no longer part of this game plan. They will not be calling any called runs for Aaron Rodgers.
Third down and 7. Rodgers over the middle, pass incomplete behind Randall Cobb. And so those last two throws from Rodgers were off. This one behind number 18.
And they knew coming in they were going to try to get Randall Cobb.
It's just a really...
We go live now to the Superdome. Watch the replay. Mark Ingram with the catch from Drew Brees, and Ingram up the sideline. No jet in the screen for a while. Bad tackle there. He goes 54 yards. They mark him down outside of the end zone at about the 2-yard line. It is 1st and goal, Saints.
And we've got a timeout taken.
Field for an injured player.
And the injured player, as you can see, is Darren Lee, the second-year player out of Ohio.
They actually marked Ingram out at the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Saints, from the 10-yard line when they get the injured player off the field. New red zone opportunity. It's for Washington. They turned over the Arizona Cardinals on the second play of the game, and so it's 2nd and goal for Kirk Cousins.
This season. 3 receivers to the left side. Herod in the backfield, 2nd and goal from the 5. Cousins. Zone, touchdown, Jamison Crowder.
Well, that's a way to start the game if you're the Washington Redskins. Turnover on defense, turn it around right into a score. I'm always looking for Jamison Crowder. They're playing man-to-man Patrick Peterson. He falls, slips in the end zone, uncontested touchdown. Great start for the Redskins.
2nd TD of the season for the Redskins' leading receiver, Jamison Crowder. 23rd touchdown pass for Cousins.
Let's do a game rewind presented by Gatorade. The opening kickoff went to Arizona, and Blaine Gabbert hit, sacked, stripped, and a fumble recovery. Nearly a defensive touchdown for Washington, but Crowder ended up finishing it off for the Skins in their 7-0 lead pending the extra point. We will check back now in near red zone territory, Minnesota, and we'll get back to New Orleans in a moment.
They give it to him. Goes down quickly. Only a yard for Latavius Murray. Vincent Ray with the tackle.
So we're on this game. Let's do a game rewind presented by Gatorade. It was Case Keenum faking the handoff to Latavius Murray. Pass play on the bootleg. Doesn't like what he sees. Takes off to the left side. Keenum, not known for big runs, gets one there. That's a 20-yard scramble by Case Keenum for the first down, Minnesota.
This is one that gives Keenum a lot of choices, 3rd and short, but Thielen has been so big with his 80 catches on 3rd down.
3rd and 3. Keenum, rush coming. And it's Thielen. Adam Thielen. Brought down just shy of the 5. A Pro Bowl season for Thielen. Josh Shaw, along with Vincent Ray on the stop. That's 21 yards.
That's a short crossing route for Thielen. And you can see with the zone coverage that time, surprising that on 3rd and short, the Bengals would drop into a zone and leave Thielen wide open across the middle.
Minnesota moving quickly here to get to the line. Cincinnati a little late in getting reinforcements in. Handoff, McKinnon. Got a lane. McKinnon will come up short of the goal line.
Out of the TV timeout, New Orleans. They took a look at it to make sure that he was out at the 10. He was. They'll hand it off to Ingram again. He's not going anywhere. 2nd and goal upcoming for New Orleans. Back and forth between the Saints and the Vikings.
With this option play, shows us some good closing speed there to keep McKinnon out of the end zone.
They go with 6 offensive linemen here. Minnesota trying to get on the board. Murray will shift to the backfield with Ham in front of him. 2nd and goal. Murray. He's in. Latavius Murray. Touchdown, Vikings.
Yeah, exactly. Breeze. And that's caught with a gain of 5 by the fullback Line, Zach Line. That's his first catch of the season, by the way, the 5-year player out of
plays 75 yards.
And very little resistance there for the Bengals.
Lee.
The struggles that they've had starting games defensively. The other issue that they've had is they've given up a lot of big plays. KC gutted them 2 weeks ago for a bunch. They've given up 59 plays of 20 yards or more, which is
third and goal on the left side of your screen, right side of your screen, 3rd and 9. Red zone for the Ravens, and I'll have a Dolphins-Bills update in just a moment.
3rd and goal at the 5. Breeze, pressure from Williams. And throws it away.
The gun is Flacco looking at the end zone. It's tipped and it's nearly intercepted. Christian Kirksey tipped it.
For the field goal. That's one they may regret.
And a good defensive stand there by the Jets.
Really good stand. They tightened up and forced him to settle for a field goal after giving up the explosive to Mark Ingram.
There's a look at Will Lutz. He's a second-year kicker out of Georgia State. It's a 23-yard field goal try. It's 26 of 31. Long snapper is Zach Wood. And he just sneaks it in.
In the front of the I formation.
Red zone opportunity for Eli Manning and the Giants.
Rolling, you'll just throw it away. Pressure applied by their leading sacker on the year, and Brandon Graham, already a career best 8.5 sacks for this longest tenured member of the Philadelphia defense.
So you saw the New Orleans 3rd down that went incomplete. They got a field goal. The Ravens 3rd down went incomplete. They got a field goal. Justin Tucker, 31 yards, 3-0 Baltimore.
Defense in their man coverage.
Steve Spagnuolo, named the interim head coach 2 weeks ago, lost last Sunday to Dallas. They handed off to Darkwood. He is the only Giant with a rushing touchdown so far this year. And he's
coming right back for the next goal-to-go opportunity. So we were on the Saints and Ravens in the red zone. While that happened, Buffalo got inside the 5-yard line, and LaShawn McCoy, who had the walk-off game winner in overtime in the blizzard in Buffalo last week, opens up the first quarter scoring here in Buffalo with a 4-yard touchdown run. How about a 10-play, 81-yard drive for the Buffalo Bills? They go on top, 7-0.
On a 1.5-yard line, it's time to show Giant pride, because this is where you fight to win and keep yourself going. Show people you're not quitting.
They hand it to Darkwood, and he falls into the end zone. A touchdown, first time all year long. The Giants have come up with 6 on their first possession of the game.
Well, Red Ellison does a tremendous job here. I mean, everything is good, but watch number 85. He's going to combo block, stop here, then continue his block on the cutoff. We're getting a pull around and a kick out. See Red Ellison right there, just get in front of Kendricks just enough. He helped with the double team, and Darkwood does a nice job of going north and south, getting in the end zone.
So Nick Foles will come on the field with a deficit for his first time this season as the Eagles starter. We'll check back on the Eagles offense in a moment. The Panthers offense, one of the playoff contenders in the NFC, just outside the red zone.
They'll motion him, they'll get him out in the flat. Certainly they got him on the swing for a big 3rd down conversion.
Carry by McCaffrey over the right side, he gets 4.
Well, you think about it, Joe, when the Panthers went out and drafted Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford, and a high pick, and you wonder just how they were going to utilize him. He's certainly a versatile player, and this was really a great fit with offensive coordinator Mike Shula, the things that they do around their quarterback, within their running game. And, man, he has had an awfully productive year and a lot of touches.
2nd and 6, blitz coming, pass is caught out of bounds as McCaffrey is over 40 yards already on this first possession.
So we showed you the Giants touchdown. Here comes the extra point. Aldrich Rosas on for the PAT, and it's blocked. Derek Barnett shot through there, the rookie out of Tennessee, coming right through to block the extra point. So just a 6-0 lead. We know it is fantasy football playoff weekend for many of you. Every point counts, so we'll show you all the consequential plays.
At the start of this game, talk about the impact that Rodgers' presence has, even with their defense, the same way Luke Kuechly does for this Panthers offense. They're taking some of that emotion away from the Packers on this drive.
3rd down and 2. Newton, pass, caught. Guess who? McCaffrey, first down.
It's unbelievable.
And that mark is going to be 1st and goal Carolina. Come back to Charlotte in a moment. They'll show you Blaine Gabbert's 2nd possession. Feels some heat in his face. Dumps it off to Larry Fitzgerald. The old fella tries the hurdle. Not quite successful on that one, but successful enough to get a first down. 11-yard pickup for the future Hall of Famer. comes a replay of it. Larry Fitzgerald, the last few weeks, it seems like every time we show you a highlight, he's reaching another milestone on the career receptions or career receiving yardage list. Back to first and goal, Panthers.
Opening drive, 48 points. And a timeout is called by Carolina with the play clock winding down.
Charge timeout, Carolina.
All right, quick timeout there. That is the only red zone opportunity, that one between the Panthers and the Packers. But you look at the big picture here with 8 games going on. Buffalo jumps out to a 7-0 lead. They're one of the teams currently holding a playoff seed. Carolina threatening to score first in that game between the Packers and the Panthers. Jacksonville and Houston, no score. Jags have the ball in their own territory. The New Orleans Saints, the 4 seed currently in the NFC, got a field goal on the board. I mentioned the Texans and the Jags. Why don't we show you a 3rd and 6. TJ Yates is quarterbacking the Houston Texans today. That's going to be rough sledding. Calais Campbell, the Jacksonville front, they lead the league in sacks. They're the best defense on earth. The last few weeks, statistically leading every meaningful category in the NFL defensively, but it's still a 0-0 score early in the first quarter in Jacksonville.
They felt they could fix the issues with scheme. It's been in flux throughout the year, although they played really well against New England last week. They moved Jay Cutler around. That was the key to the success on the offense, getting him outside, utilizing his ability to move and throw on the run.
3rd and 17. Cutler out of the pocket, incomplete. Looking for Jarvis Landry, and it's 4th down.
All right, Carolina is still in a TV timeout, so here comes Nick Foles' first play from scrimmage as a starter for the #1 seed hopeful Philadelphia Eagles.
First throw complete to Alshon Jeffrey, and that'll be a gain of 12. In that year, Foles had 27 touchdowns and threw only 2 interceptions. He got hurt a year later, wound up being traded. And a lot of changes along that offensive line. No Stefan Wisniewski at left guard.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the right side has been good, and the receivers have been outstanding for the Eagles. They do a great job of spreading the ball around and make you defend the whole field as a defense because of the variety of areas they attack all over.
Of course, their tight ends have been a huge factor, even without Zach Ertz playing regularly, and that is Ertz on the reception. An excellent coverage by Landon Collins. When you talk about Collins, he leads the team in tackles, went to Pro Bowl a season ago, and you know, Chris, he injured his ankle last week. He's ready to roll here 7 days later.
No, he's a baller, and I think when you're
out of the TV timeout, Carolina first and goal from the 9-yard line.
Red zone trip the opponents have had against them. 31st ranked overall. That's with regard to touchdowns. Jonathan Stewart carries for 2. 2nd and goal coming up. The opponents are scoring touchdowns at 69% against the Packers. And over the last 10 opponents' drives, 8 touchdowns have been scored against Green Bay.
Boy, they've had a tough time down here. And Christian McCaffrey with 8 touches on this drive. The only reason he didn't get it on the last play was because he was on the sidelines. But they've got him in the game now, right alongside Cam Newton.
15th play of the drive. Newton finds him. McCaffrey, touchdown. What a drive for the rookie. He did a sit-down with Aaron Andrews a couple of weeks ago. We know he can play the piano, and he just played this Packer defense all the way down the field.
Well, kind of a natural pick there by Greg Olsen. He releases up the field, and the guy covering Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield on that H-post route, he couldn't come down and cover it. Easy touchdown.
Christian McCaffrey, 9 touches, 60 yards, and a touchdown.
The rookie McCaffrey leads all rookie running backs in receptions, and he just scored his 5th receiving touchdown of the season on that play. All right, Jags are starting to move it towards midfield. This one here, Blake Bortles to James O'Shaughnessy, a 15-yard pickup. Jags not in scoring territory just yet. Here comes a second down for the Philadelphia offense. Let's check back with Nick Foles.
Ran for nearly 1,300 yards, went to the Pro Bowl, and it looks like Aguilar is shaken up going to the Philadelphia sideline. He is.
Hopefully that's not serious. He's a big part of this and really excelled once the Eagles moved him into primarily the slot receiver position. He can work those matchups when you're in the slot on linebackers and safeties.
They were screaming and yelling this time a year ago that Aguilar was a draft bust in the first round. How about that head fake by Foles? Now lofts it to the end zone. And that'll be pass interference called down there on Darian Thompson. Trying to stay with Torrey Smith. Well, what a move that was by Foles. Just a subtle move you see frequently in basketball.
Pass interference. Defense number 37. By rule, the ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Well, I mean, all right, so the Eagles now deep in Giants territory. Let's do the game rewind presented by Gatorade. You saw Nelson Aguilar going to some medical attention on the sideline. Happened after this play here. Aguilar hit as he was making the initial catch. Ball pops in the air. He regathers, makes the catch for 14 yards, but took a shot right there on that play. And Aguilar, at least temporarily, to the sideline. Here's first and goal live.
Out of Wisconsin. He leads his team with 4 rushing touchdowns.
Well, we got a big leaner here with 67.
Clement is inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Second down and goal. Stop made by Damon Harrison. Harrison's had a nice year. He's played through some injuries, his ankle, his elbow, most recently a finger injury.
Snacks, as they call him. He's getting a little bit of a read right here because he's way off the ball, so that's a cutoff block. Harrison reads it nicely, and he moves really well, Tom, down the line of scrimmage. Last week against the Cowboys, he made a couple tackles on a screen and checkdowns. For 340 pounds, he's helping your linebackers make tackles at mid-level range.
Double box in the Cardinals, who are in the red zone. 3rd and 12 for Arizona. 2nd and goal from the 3, Philly.
Second down. All day to throw. And in the back of the end zone, that is Alshon.
Gabbert in trouble on 3rd down. Wrapped up. It's Anthony Lanier again. His second sack. 3rd for the Redskins.
On the field, he goes 4 for 4 on the drive. And a point away from a 1-point lead.
Well, he gets a tremendous protection because they're only rushing 3, right? Then you watch Jeffries run to the post. Now watch him work back. Foles throws it only where his guy can get it. He's on time and on target, in rhythm, and you can see why this guy has won 20 ball games as a starter at this level. And that's only going to grow the confidence of his teammates, both offensively and defensively.
From the left hash, 40-yard attempt. Dawson's kick just inside the right upright. It was 16 plays.
That's close on that right foot when he made the turn and pivot. He's right on it.
If you go out of bounds, you can't be the first player to touch the ball.
We'll review the play.
So in other words, if you step out of bounds and you come back in bounds, you can't be the first.
We'll let you know the outcome of that scoring review. Looked to us like Jeffrey was very, very close to the line, but 2 officials were right there. They'll stop the game to look at it there. Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking the Packers.
One of the reasons why they want to do that is to wear down this front 7 for the Carolina Panthers that's so good. A group that's coming after this offensive line that's had a lot of injuries, especially out at right tackle. And Jason Spriggs with his bad hip is good enough to start today.
5-9. Hey, check 30. Check 30.
Ready, go. 2nd and 8. Rodgers throws. Cobb and the spin to catch it to the 40.
Got a Jags update for you. Blake Bortles working his guys down outside the red zone, and they will go inside the red zone on this run. No Leonard Fournette. Fournette out with a quad injury. That news came down late last night. On this play here, Marquise Lee injured. We'll update you on him when we can. Jags are in the red zone, but there's an injury timeout. They've gone to commercial break.
Spoke last night and said we have got to get him down the middle of the field and start stretching this defense.
Rodgers doing his thing. He's going to slide. And a nice pickup on first down.
Aaron Rodgers slides, starting to get into field goal range here. Just got the ruling on the field, stands at MetLife Stadium. Eagles touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey stayed in bounds, they say. And that extra point is good. Philadelphia 7, Giants 6.
5-9. Why not run key?
319. Blitz coming. Williams over the left side, breaks through. And a first down to the 24. Carry of 9 yards for the rookie out of BYU.
See, it's a good cut there by
So
Williams,
Jags
and he's able
working
to
into the red zone. Packers pounding their way towards the 20-yard line. We're going to go back and forth, Green Bay and Jacksonville.
This running game has been pretty good. They've had some days where they have just run the ball exceptionally well. A couple weeks ago, 199 yards against Tampa Bay, and those two rookies done a pretty good job for them.
Take him. Take him. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Yeah, right there.
319. Williams again cuts back. And gets nothing.
2nd and 12, throw it away. Take advantage of the rules.
Ivory on 2nd and 10. Tripped up, and he might lose a half a yard. Excellent defense, Marcus Gilchrist from the safety spot.
And one of the things you have to do when you're on the field, you always want to keep your feet moving. And Marquise Lee is going to get the left foot up, but he's not going to get the right one, and it gets rolled up, it gets trapped, and hopefully he's going to be okay. But that looked pretty serious.
An ankle, and Laura will be watching this. So right now, with him out, they have Dede Westbrook, Keelan Cole, and Jaden Mickens. Larry Pinkard is inactive along with Alan Hearns. 3rd and 11. Bortles, end zone, flagged out. Oh, and he almost made the catch. Jaden Mickens diving for that, incomplete. We'll check the penalty flag.
Pass interference.
Pass interference, that'll be 1st and goal, Jacksonville. We missed one play in the Packers game. It was a scramble by Rodgers. This is 3rd and 2 live.
Handoff is to Jamal Williams. Depends on where they mark him.
Down play, a major penalty sets up Jacksonville. And this is where letting A.J. Boye get away from Houston. Rick Smith paid a lot of money, but that's a mistake Boye is making him pay for on a regular basis. In that Texans secondary, they miss him. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Chris Ivory, and to the goal line. Kept out by that.
Rodgers slides through again and is wrestled to the ground by Jarris Byrd, a gain of 1. Every player, when they step out on that field, and I'm telling you this, you know this.
Right arm.
J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, you've got guys on this defense that can kind of take over a game. Jadeveon Clowney is the last guy left.
Are you 100%? He kind of gives you that coy smile and says, I've been cleared. But he's not 100%.
No, I don't think any rational thinking person could say you could get 2 plates and 13 screws put in your shoulder, and 7 weeks later you're healed and ready to go.
2nd and 9. Good protection. Time runs out. Rodgers throws it away. 3rd and 9. Packers had a padded practice on Thursday. Mike McCarthy using one of his 3
coordinator, Mike Vrabel.
That makes his job a lot harder this afternoon, because that was the one guy, hey, we're going to move him through that front and see if we can get a favorable matchup.
Challenge gets bigger on 2nd and goal. Chris Ivory into a wall, and the Texans keep him out of the end zone.
Great job by the
much more significant than what he was able to draw upon with Brett Hundley as his quarterback.
Play clock was expiring, and Aaron Rodgers has to use a timeout. So while they talk about it.
All right, so Jacksonville will have 3rd and goal. Timeout there in the Green Bay game. Let's go to 3rd and 6 for Andy Dalton in a hostile environment in Minneapolis.
Dalton sets and throws. Intercepted. Picked off by Kendricks. Eric Kendricks looking for the angle. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings. An eruption inside U.S. Bank Stadium.
I'm not sure what Dalton was seeing there. He obviously did not see Kendricks in the short zone. Kendricks just looking at the eyes of Dalton. First pick.
One of the best defenses in football coming up with the pick 6, and the Vikings are up 14-0.
Inside handoff. Tommy Bohannon. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Coordinator for Carolina. He likes to bring pressure. We'll see if he brings the 5th on this down.
Rodgers throws, end zone, Adams for the touchdown. And for the moment, Davante Adams has more touchdown receptions since the start of last year than anybody in the NFL in the power walking meet.
Well, this was in power walking here. Watch Davante Adams and the move that he makes on Kurt Coleman. I mean, one-on-one on the safety. Coleman, he was head bobbing. He didn't know which way he was going to go. He started the corner. He takes it to the post. Easy touchdown.
What an end to an entertaining.
Aaron Rodgers doing Aaron Rodgers things. 58 yards passing on that drive. It's a 4th and 2, and the offense on the field for the Saints.
4th and 2. What a call. What a play. Touchdown. Michael Thomas. Great blocking. Knifing his way for 7. And the Saints are on the board with a touchdown. Michael Thomas with the catch. Covered by Claiborne.
I saw them work on this in practice. You just see they're going to short motion Thomas in from the left side of the screen. And this is just a built-in quick screen. And you love throwing to a big body like Michael Thomas.
He now has 900.
That's a close call. They are reviewing it. Ruling on the field is a touchdown. Miami working into Buffalo territory. How about Kenyon Drake? He went over 100 yards rushing in each of his last 2 games. Gets 31 yards on that carry. And then they end up settling for a Cody Parkey field goal attempt. 28-yard chip shot. Kicking last week in Buffalo was an adventure.
And he's good there.
Not as much wind and absolutely no snow. And the field goal goes through 7-3. Buffalo has the lead. Still waiting on the result of the scoring review in the Superdome. Mike Thomas has a touchdown until they say otherwise. This one is 7-6 with the Giants' second possession.
Got him. Lofted to the end zone. And that is a touchdown for Tavares King.
You have to play discipline and technique.
That's the call.
Responsible for the deep half of the field back here.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. The runner's right elbow touched the ground with the ball just short of the goal line. It is a first down for New Orleans. It'll be 1st and goal at the 1/4-yard line. The clock will start on my ready for play signal.
So the Jets will have another chance. It'll be 1st and goal, though. And look at Todd Bowles in a season which so few predicted the Jets would win even a couple games. They have won 5 with 3 to play.
Well, when you look at the personnel in the field right now,
Number
Kevin,
61 has reported as an eligible receiver. 61 is eligible.
They've got their jumbo personnel. They've got the fullback in the game, Zach Line. They've got their big running back and Mark Ingram. You just have to anticipate they're going to the blast play. We just watch Ingram follow the fullback right up the middle.
Line the block. Walking in is Ingram. 1-yard touchdown run by Mark Ingram. That is his 10th touchdown of the season, number 6 in the NFL, and to the stands he goes. 9-0 New Orleans, late first quarter. Extra point coming up.
So they follow the fullback to pay dirt. See the kick out block by the guard, the fullback, and Mark Ingram is terrific back. Strong, powerful legs and lower body. He can.
It's about a half a yard.
We got a 4th and 1 Cincinnati. They're going.
Bernard and Hewitt set up in the backfield. Dalton gives it. Bernard lunging. He didn't get there. Vikings are going to take over.
This is where they miss Jeremy Hill and Joe Mixon, the bigger back. Bernard 5'9", 205. When he went airborne, he was stopped, and there was nothing else there for him to do to pick up the first down.
Ben Gideon among those there for Minnesota.
So Marvin Lewis taking a gamble there. By the way, if you've been watching NFL media reports, Marvin Lewis and the Bengals expected to part ways at the end of this season. Marvin Lewis, the second longest tenured head coach in the NFL, Bill Belichick being the longest tenured head coach, but it appears that the Marvin Lewis era just has 2 weeks remaining after today, the Marvin Lewis Bengals head coaching era, that is. So, clinching scenarios, some of the notable ones. These aren't all of them. I ran down most of them at the beginning of the show here, but you're watching the Philadelphia Eagles try and get the first round bye with a win. The Eagles could also clinch home field throughout the NFC if they win and Minnesota loses. Minnesota's trying to clinch their own selves. They're trying to clinch the NFC North with a win in that game in which they're up 14-0. No one in the red zone at the moment, so let's watch Panthers and Packers for a minute.
To the edge and cuts back. A nice carry by the vet. 30 years old, in his 10th year, gets 9. Here's Kurt with a game break.
All right, the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Giants, and yes, earlier Nick Foles threw a touchdown pass, but Eli Manning answered that. Nice 13-yarder to DeForest King, and look at this, the Giants with the lead right now, but they're still in the first quarter. Enjoy Troy and Aaron.
So, thank you, Kurt. It's Nick Foles and not Carson Wentz. We were there last week. What a killer injury that was.
Yeah, it sure was good to see Nick Foles, though, come off the bench and finish the game the way he did.
Here's Stewart for another first down. Just so you know, McCaffrey, who had 5 carries for 20 yards, 4 catches for 40 yards on that first drive, has 71 catches on the season. He's now 18 catches shy of a new rookie running back record, which was set by Reggie Bush with the Saints, and his 88 catches back in 06.
Well, the guy does everything. I mean, they line him up in a ton of different spots as we have a flag come out now. It looks like it
offside. First flag of the game, Craig Rolstad.
On infraction. Defense number 52. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Mark off the yardage there. A Texans-Jags update. It's TJ Yates under all sorts of duress. Not even 2 seconds to throw the football there. Ball comes loose. Lineman gets on it for Houston, but second sack of the game for the Jags. The Jags defense is 1 sack away from 50 on the season.
And now the Packers defense is getting a taste of what defenses have to deal with Aaron Rodgers. Kenny Clark came across.
Neutrals on infraction. Defense number 97. That'll result in a first down.
He got a first down, didn't even have to snap the ball.
Aaron Rodgers nobody better at that and catching too many men on the field and back to back. And Cam Newton saying, got him again.
Nice weapon when you're good at it.
Here we go. Hey, West Philly. West Philly. No, hey, East Philly. East Philly. East Philly. Ready.
Newton slings it. Pass is caught by a sliding Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen, the Panthers on the move, coming back to Carolina in a moment. Deshaun Kaiser leads the league in interceptions and adds to his total right there. Overshoots his intended target. Eric Weddle on the pick. The Ravens now have 30 total takeaways. That's tied with Jacksonville for the best in football. By the way, Deshaun Kaiser, this is an ouch stat. Kaiser has minus 12 yards passing in the first quarter in that game.
Okay. Fake the handoff, passes too high and behind Funchess.
A second down coming up for Carolina. Baltimore has taken that pick and worked it inside, close to the red zone. They just picked up a first down on this Alex Collins run. So Collins gets the Ravens a first down. Cam and the guys second down, back and forth. Panthers, Ravens.
Early in the season, by the ball.
He says, but I don't see how there can be a West and not be an East.
We'll have to ask him in a commercial break. How that is.
Second and 10. McCaffrey bounces off a tackle and ends up with a gain of 5. Kenny Clark in on the stop. Blake Martinez. So now a third down coming for Cam Newton and the Panthers.
This Carolina offense, they're off to a good start here in this game. They take the first
Keep it right here with Carolina. The Baltimore-Cleveland game has taken a TV timeout.
And doing much the same.
Third down and 5. Newton fires, pass, caught. McCaffrey another. And a first down inside the 15.
Well,
Christian McCaffrey with a monster first half there for Carolina. The Vikings offense, after they got the turnover on downs, they move it to their tight end. Kyle Rudolph was doubtful to play with an ankle injury just like 48 hours ago. Makes the recovery medically and gets a 16-yard catch that sets up and in a 53-yard Kai Forbath field goal. Minnesota 17-0, looking like they want to clinch the NFC North post-haste.
Defensively, and the timeout is taken by Green Bay. So we will pause with them when we come back. First down.
Timeout there in that Packer-Panther game. Blake Bortles on play action, 2nd and 8. Moves outside the pocket, throws, and on target to Cole. Keenan Cole with the catch. Don't say his name a whole lot, but Keenan Cole with a 42-yard pickup, and the Jags up 7-0.
Through a big hole and gets down to around the 10 before he's shoved back. And Clowney started it as the first quarter winds down. Jacksonville in control of the division. A win puts them in the playoffs and in control of this game at the end of one quarter.
All right, so end of the first quarter right there. Jags threatening, already up 7-0. So Jacksonville looking good. The Jags at home, Saints at home looking strong. You got the 7-7 tie between the Packers and the Panthers. The Eagles trailing 13-7. That's an interesting number there in the first quarter. Minnesota taking care of business. Buffalo comes into the day with a playoff spot, 4 points ahead of the Dolphins at the start of the second quarter in that one. Near red zone for Baltimore.
The Ravens understand that they went out there in the postseason. Here's Collins on the screen, and Collins has blockers to get him inside the 15-yard line.
You know, Greg Williams told us on Friday, because we see more screen passes than any team in the NFL because we bring so much pressure, and it's one of the ways they combat it. As you see, Joe Flacco drops back. It looks like a Cleveland Brown defensive line meeting in Joe Flacco's lap, and he just dumps the ball off to Collins standing by himself. It's a great way to stem the tide of the pressure, and I think it also tells Greg Williams they're concerned about his pressure as well, so he'll probably dish more of it out.
They want him to think twice about bringing all that pressure.
Gain of 14. Collins now runs the ball and lowers his shoulder to the 10-yard line. Christian Kirksey, Joe Schobert both in on the tackle.
Greg Williams is one of the characters in the NFL. He told us, yeah, they're going to screen passes, but Hugh Jackson on the other sideline said
whatever he's doing, he's not going to stop. So Greg Williams is going to bring pressure no matter how many screen passes you throw against him. It's who he is. He mentioned Buddy Ryan was his mentor, and that's the kind of defense he runs. It's a pressure defense. That's its bread and butter, and they're going to live and die with it.
By the way, Mike Jordan is on the outside covering Chris Moore. We've not seen Jamar
out of the commercial break. Carolina inside the 15-yard line. Now the Ravens pounding deeper into Browns territory.
Out to his right, Newton. It's just not there.
Good coverage that time by the Packers, and when you get down into this,
you can't miss it.
Offside. Defense, number 94. In the neutral zone at the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Right at the top, and that he's listed as 6'7". If I was 6'7", I'd still be playing.
Where would you be playing?
I'd be on the back nine.
You only missed it by a foot.
Second down and 1. Here's Allen in for Collins. Myles Garrett takes him down, but he leans close to the first down. Looks like he...
Stewart is wrapped up by Brooks in the backfield of the 15. A loss of 4 is Ahmad Brooks, the longtime 49.
More and more, they've had that in their repertoire down in the red zone. They've gone from to scoring 2 more touchdowns statistically per game, and that's the reason.
Oh, he has 5 touchdowns on the ground. He's in the backfield next to Flacco on 1st and goal. Boyle sets up in the backfield. They give it to Powell. Flacco keeps it himself, and Flacco dives toward the goal line, and he's about a half-yard shy.
I do not like that call at all.
Wow. To me, that's insanity.
That really is. That was a designed run by Joe. Why would you put your quarterback, this is your Super Bowl winning quarterback who's coming back from a back injury this year.
And a concussion.
Boy, that's almost very
timeout
similar
in
to
the
what
Packers-Panthers game. It'll be 3rd and 14 for Cam when they run their next play.
That's winning all your games, and Joe Flacco's going to be the guy that helps you do that. Don't risk it.
Second to go from inside the 1. Off the play fake, Flacco steps up and fires, and it is incomplete. Christian Kirksey was out in the coverage.
Okay, so Green Bay, Carolina has gone to a stoppage there momentarily. Let's bring in the Jacksonville Jaguars. We were on this game when they went to the end of the first quarter. Jacksonville just got a 1st and goal by virtue of a defensive holding penalty in the end zone.
Pass is complete. Jaden Nickens. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A good story gets even better for Jaden Nickens. The deep man. Williams is in motion. And the handoff to Collins. Collins is bounced out. He did not get in. Derek Kennard, Caleb Brantley.
They're not sending the kicker out. They're going to go for this on 4th and short to try and get in. Justin Tucker's standing on the sideline.
That's a full yard.
And you know what? Why not? I mean, you're down there. You're inside the 1. I'd say you go for it as well.
I question it. Now, you take the points. I think you got a full yard to go against a good, staunch run defense. You need points. You're going against an offense that's struggling, the Cleveland Browns.
High formation, Ricard is the fullback. Here comes Collins. Collins is not going to get it. James Burgess was there to hit him back. And the Browns will take over on downs. And Collins is down on the field and very slow to get up.
Baltimore turned away on that one. A couple of red zone opportunities and a couple of things to get you caught up on. While we were married to those red zone opportunities live, let's do a red alert right now. Get you caught up on a couple of things that just happened. First, actually, we're going to go to the Jets live.
Especially down here in the red zone.
9th play of the drive. 2nd down and 8. Here's Powell. Nice hesitation. Breaking tackles and corkscrewing his way to the 4.
Put the red alert on hold because the Jets are in 1st and goal, and Cam on a 3rd and 14 shoots to the end zone looking for a flag. Devin Funchess, the intended target. Ball goes incomplete, and the field goal unit comes out for Carolina.
Kick it into 2nd gear to get up on that 2nd level.
Powell has had runs on this drive, Rich, of 10, 6, and 11 yards.
And The Saints have had their struggles stopping the run. They're just 19th against the run so far this season.
Matt Forte is in first and goal at the 4.
Look for a fade ball right here.
Forte did not practice this week, and pile drives his way inside the 1 with a gain of 3. And you see right there the guard, Brian Williams, Rich, leading the way. Bad
to Funchess, but after that play by Ahmad Brooks, just too much to overcome.
Extra point distance, bad snap, or at least a bobble, and a good job by Michael Pilardi to get the ball on its end.
Johnson, Carpenter, Winters, Beecham, Shell.
6-minute drive.
Using a lot of 2 tight end sets. Some heavy personnel down in this part of the field.
Forte is in. The handoff. And down he goes. Vaccaro coming through. Also getting hit on the play by Von Bell with a loss of a yard.
Keep an eye on Kenny Vaccaro. He's going to come flying up from the secondary. He just was able to sort through the trash and go in there and make a nice tackle in the backfield on Forte.
Last week, the Jets only managed 100 yards of total offense. They've done a terrific job to begin this one on Dennis Allen's defense. 3rd and goal at the 2. Powell is in. Dances, drives, touchdown. 2-yard run. How about that drive by the Jets? Powell with runs of 6, 10, 11, and a big 2-yard gain right there.
How about that call and the commitment to running the football? You look at that situation of passing down, and they decide to run it again with Bilal Powell. Sending a message not only to their offensive line, but also to the Saints defense. And it's going to be that kind of day. You better bring your big boy pads.
All right, Jets back in it with the touchdown there by Bilal Powell. Red alert, catching you up on stuff that was going on while we were in those live games. Kirk Cousins fakes a couple of handoffs, flips it out to Capri Bibbs. Capri Bibbs, he was on the practice squad. They just brought him up from the practice squad yesterday, and he scores a touchdown for the Skins. It's 14-3, Washington at home over Arizona. And Eli Manning is carving up a very good Philadelphia defense. Hits Sterling Shepard, where's the tackling? 67 yards, Sterling Shepard. Eli Manning has 207 yards passing and 2 touchdowns against Philadelphia early second quarter. 20-7, Giants over the Eagles on a day when the Eagles have so much in front of them to potentially clinch a bye or maybe home field advantage. And the Miami Dolphins are now within a point of the Buffalo Bills. Cody Parkey's second field goal for him. Parkey from 41 yards out, 7-6 score there in Buffalo. All right, this is Nick Foles live. I also want to let you know that Jaden Mickens' touchdown for the Jags, that one stood. They looked at it for about 2 or 3 minutes on the scoring review, but Mickens' touchdown Jaguars, Jacksonville leads 14-0 over Houston, and you saw that Nick Foles' pass goes incomplete there, so Philadelphia forced to punt on their latest drive, suddenly down 13 points. All right, big picture, 8 games going on across the National Football League. That takes care of all the immediate red zone opportunities. Looking for the next closest team. How about the Cleveland Browns are over midfield? Let's check out the winless Browns. You know, the Browns were, this is like a kind of an interesting week. Week 15 in the National Football League regular season has been a week where traditionally winless teams staring at 0-16 have found a way to get a victory. This game just 3-0 now in the second quarter, and the Browns nearing field goal range.
Kaiser looking to throw. Kaiser under pressure. Kaiser can run, and he does run, and gets out of bounds inside the 25. Let's go down to Melanie Collins. Mel?
Game rewind in this one presented by Gatorade. They were back to the wall to begin the drive for the Browns. Handed off left tackle. Isaiah Crowell found a gash in the defense, gets into the secondary, turns around the safety and goes 59 yards. Isaiah Crowell starting for some of you perhaps on fantasy, looking for a running back number 2. How about a 59-yarder to get you over midfield? Get the Browns in field goal range.
To 24. On first down, here's Duke Johnson. Johnson to the 20-yard line.
You know, we've been talking about this game and about that 4th down series down there where Baltimore tried to get it in.
Panthers-Packers just happened a moment ago on 2nd and 5. Low shotgun snap. Rodgers scoops it up, ducks a would-be tackler, throws it up, and a bad choice right there. Darryl Worley for the Panthers. Worley comes up with the pick of Aaron Rodgers. You know, Rodgers obviously first game back, Russ is to be expected, but Rodgers only had 3 interceptions on the season in the first half of the year when he was healthy.
Guys are pointing out the Mike linebacker. Johnson stays in at the backfield. This is going to be design run by Kaiser. And Kaiser's inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line.
The design quarterback draw came up exactly the way they wanted. You got a nice lead blocker there in the center. J.C. Treader. We have a man down on the field.
Yeah, there's an injured Ravens player down on the field after a 9-yard gain. It'll be a first down.
All right, injury time out there. Check out what just happened in the Texans-Jags game. T.J. Yates, 3rd and 2, throwing. Ball comes loose, goes forward, but the Jags think it's a fumble. Miles Jack scoops and scores. Ruling on the field is a touchdown. Now, they're going to take a look at it, obviously, and the scoring review was Yates' arm coming forward. You can judge for yourselves.
Coming forward, it really looks to me like a football that's still very position. So it is coming forward. I think that this will be overturned from that replay. But does he lose control of the ball before the hand starts forward? I think there might be enough there to stay with the call.
Stay with the call, Mike Ferreira.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, and again, Mike says this all the time. You know, they try to stay with what was called on the field unless it's clear and obvious. And I think maybe we have to weigh in too much. Did Greg Mance bump into T.J. Yates and jar that ball loose before it came forward? I mean, that's going to be the question right there. 65, is it loose right there? I don't know if you can get that information from these replays.
And was Yates trying to hold that ball up because of the rush? And Mike, how important is, because the ruling on the field was fumble, that you stay with the call, right? Clear, obvious if you're going to flip it.
Yeah, well, just remember the assumption when you go to look at the play is
the
that
quarterback's hand was moving forward with control of the ball. It is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down. Please put 13-18 on the game clock. 13-18, please.
Mike, go ahead.
Well, dangerous moment for Buffalo Bills fans and for folks who want LaShawn McCoy to have a monster day. Picks up a big gainer here, but as he's tackled, goes down awkwardly, and Shady injured on this play. LaShawn McCoy on that run kind of, coincidentally, goes over 10,000 career rushing yards on that carry, but more concern for Buffalo fans, the injury to the star running back. 7-6, Buffalo has the lead. Okay, let's look at Washington and Arizona. Arizona in the red zone.
And now Jay Gruden has thrown his challenge flag.
Well, looking at that last look, I think they're going to win it too.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
All right, so Pete Morelli will take a look at it, communicate with Al Riverone of New York.
Okay, I think the guys are going to try and cue up the play that is being challenged there by Jay Gruden. Washington was defending a 3rd and 3 from the red zone. Blaine Gabbert was hit. The ball came out of his hands, but they said that the ball was coming forward. They said incomplete pass. Is that where we're going, guys, or are we going back to Cleveland? Okay, let's go back to that Cleveland and Baltimore game.
He's got a free run into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Duke Johnson, he averages the 3rd most yards per touch in the NFL. Alvin Kamara, New Orleans, Chris Thompson, Washington, Duke Johnson 3rd. He's a big play running back most of the time in the pass game, but right there showing his ability to pop it up inside and bounce it, use that speed to get to the edge.
We talked to him on Friday. There's those sunglasses again. They've shown up once again. They showed up last week.
Okay, here's the play we were referring to as you saw the Cleveland Browns touchdown to take the lead against the Ravens. Was his arm coming forward, or was it an empty hand? Stripped from behind. He's already been sacked twice in the first half, Blaine Gabbert has. The Redskins have a clear recovery on this one. They jumped on it as the ball was going loose on the ground. And again, the ruling on the field was an incomplete pass, forcing the Jay Gruden challenge flag. Arizona and Washington have gone to a commercial break. We'll let you know what they decide on the coach's challenge in just a moment. New Orleans inside of the, not in the red zone, just a couple yards shy of the red zone, up 10-7 over the Jets.
There's not a lot of wasted movement when you watch his throwing motion.
He does get it out quick, doesn't he? 2nd down and 7. Pressure. And the pass. And caught by Thomas again. In the middle, he was what? Josh Martin got him. 8-yard gain. It's a first down.
Stay here with the Saints. LaShawn McCoy is... Actually, I'm getting conflicting reports. LaShawn McCoy is in the backfield. LaShawn McCoy back in for the Buffalo Bills.
It seems like wide.
That's where he draws a lot of his power. He's not the biggest, not the tallest quarterback. So he has to be able to generate torque and power through his lower body.
Ingram in.
Kill.
So they call 2 plays in the huddle. He's going to kill from the first play to the second play.
Ingram. And he bulldozes down to about the 10 with a gain of 4. Bottom of the pile there. You see Steve McClendon.
You know, some play callers call 1 play. And then you look at the Saints, sometimes they call 3 plays in the huddle. Really? So Drew Brees will call a play, he'll kill it to another play, and he'll can it. We can go from 1 play to the second play to the third play. So he'll look at the front, the coverage, and he'll decide the best play based on the protection and based on the coverage. I mean, that's the experience, the knowledge, the wisdom that a veteran quarterback like Brees gives you at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 6, Kamara, touchdown. 10-yard touchdown pass. 3 New Orleans possessions, 3 New Orleans scores.
Well, this is what they want. They want to get their back, Alvin Kamara, matched up on the linebacker, one-on-one in coverage. All he's going to do is go out and run a little angle route, and this is just too easy for Drew Brees. He knows he's got man-to-man coverage. He knows the backer has to cover Kamara, and that's the matchup that the Saints take advantage of.
All right, well, believe it or not, Jay Gruden lost that challenge. They said Blaine Gabbert's arm was coming forward with the football.
From 35
and it led to a field goal by Phil Dawson, 35 yards. So Washington 14, Arizona 6 in that one. As we said, LaShawn McCoy was knocked out of the game for a play or 2. LaShawn McCoy back in the lineup for Buffalo.
Just under 3 of 5 on 3rd downs today for Buffalo. Taylor looking for McCoy. Touchdown, Bills.
Second first-hand touchdown for LaShawn McCoy, 14-6. Buffalo has the lead over the Dolphins. Jags find themselves inside the 20, once again leading 14-0.
And you touched on it last week about the footwork of Blake Bortles developing, and this is 4th season, but he said he's not, Bortles not a stats guy. He'll do whatever we need to win, running, handing off. But he has been the commander of this ship, going in the right direction.
Now that's Nathaniel. Call me Nathaniel because my grandfather will get upset if you don't call me Nathaniel Hackett. I have to check with him last week. Prefer Nate or Nathaniel? You better do Nathaniel. My grandfather will get mad.
His players call him Nate. At least Bortles does. On the move, Bortles out of bounds. Of course, Paul Hackett, long-time assistant coach in the NFL. And Hackett from the Bill Walsh tree of offense.
And here's the other thing that goes on when you play against Jacksonville is this passing game starts to work. Nathaniel Hackett is really, this is year 1 with the system that he wanted to put in. It's the old Bill Walsh, San Francisco 49er offense from his dad, Paul Hackett, and these guys are just really getting their exposure to it this year for the first time. So they're in this growing process, and one of the elements that you have to account for, not just this short passing game, but also the athletic ability of Blake Bortles when it breaks down.
In the red zone twice, and they've been able to get 2 touchdowns, Darrell, on 3rd down here. A lot of time. Catch made, another touchdown, Jaden Mickens. And whatever Nate, Nathaniel, Bortles, Mickens, Hackett, Jacksonville, producing results.
Just a great story about Jaden Mickens. You touched on it in the offseason, working through OTAs. He's kind of living out of his car because he doesn't have the money to spend, on getting an apartment, and he's not sure what his future is. I think he can maybe be a little bit more.
And he was
well, Jacksonville looking like they want to lock up that playoff bid in the first half. They will get the playoff spot with a win, and they'll be up 21-0 if they hit the extra point. By the way, so Jaden Mickens, 2 touchdowns. It's a Jaden Mickens, Capri Bibbs, Tommy Bohannon type of touchdown day so far. All right, Case Keenum and the Vikings. They're up 17-0 here in this game against the Bengals. They're in the red zone again, and the Bengals have more injuries to their linebacking core. In fact, we think Cincinnati only has 2 healthy linebackers right now. They're going to have to play nickel defense in most situations for the rest of this game.
That he's been around the league long enough to know that things are crazy in the NFL, especially for quarterbacks. Incomplete.
I think you're going to get Vinny Ray for tripping.
I'll let you know what the flag was. How about a game rewind presented by Gatorade as Walt Coleman is going to make the call. Case Keenum going to Jarrett McKinnon, and McKinnon with the catch and the run. And the Bengals don't get him down until it's a 41-yard pickup. Case Keenum is just dicing up the Bengals defense. Keenum 10 of 12 for 136 yards. Penalty flag was pass interference against Cincinnati. 1st and 10 in the red zone.
Keenum looks. Keenum throws. It's complete. Another short gainer.
Well, how about 2 purple offenses in the red zone against 2 orange-wearing defenses? Ravens and Vikings back and forth.
On 1st and goal from the 6. Flacco to the back of the end zone. Complete, intended for Chris Moore.
Took over for North Turner. Running play. Murray veers to the outside and flagged down. He got stood up by Denard out on the perimeter. We are under 7 minutes to play now in this first half.
Holding, number 17, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
So back it up after the hold.
If you're down to the final minute of the first half, I can see that when you want to have time as an issue, but I think you line up and use your best threat. Alex Collins in the backfield.
2 tight ends on the right side. That's where Collins bounces. And Collins down to the 2.
Now, I think now, if you're John Harbaugh, you have to get on the headset and say, okay, guys.
Second down, 16 for Minnesota. Shotgun for Keenum. Keenum throws, end zone. It's caught by Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings.
On 3rd down and goal from inside the 3. Pressure's coming. Flacco's going to keep it himself into the end zone untouched. And the Ravens retake the lead.
Forget about my prediction.
That's 6 touchdown catches now for Stephon Diggs. 5 for 5 on that drive by Keenum, and a couple completions under real duress.
The big playability of Stephon Diggs. He's just a 3rd-year player.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 win and clinch scenarios active at the moment. And 2 of them are getting to be blowouts in the first half. The Minnesota Vikings up 24-0 over the Bengals. Minnesota clinches the NFC North with a win in that one. And the Jacksonville Jaguars 21-0 over Houston. Jacksonville clinches a playoff berth. It would be their first playoff berth in 10 years for the Jags if they can close out that victory. So 2 big leads for those home teams trying to clinch. The other win and clinch scenario is Philadelphia. They clinch the first-round bye with a win, but they are down by 13, and this is 4th down live.
They'll turn around and hand it off. And I don't think LeGarrette Blount got there. That would be the first time in 13 tries that he does not get there. 13, an unlucky number. The Giants defense defense stands tall.
So Philadelphia struggling without their MVP candidate Carson Wentz, 20-7, the score at MetLife Stadium. All right, Arizona just hit a big play into Washington territory. This one, J.J. Nelson with the catch here. It's a 46-yard. I tell you what, when you're seeing the replay of it, I'll show it to you the way it looked live in just a moment. Here comes your 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. I think they marked him down to the 21.
Nelson setting up 1st and 10 at the Redskins 21. This is Williams. So now the Cardinals are in the red zone, Rondé, for the 3rd time. And this is something.
All right, the game rewind shows you Blaine Gabbert on play action. He's felt a lot of pressure from the Washington defensive front. Heaves one, though, and how about that adjustment and catch by J.J. Nelson? 46 yards on that play.
Held to a field goal both times.
Well, they're trying to get him to throw the football, and the pressure has been just too immense for him, forced him into some bad decisions. Expect them to keep running this football, though, Kenny. I think good teams, when they get into the red zone, they got 3 tight ends on the field right now. They run the football, and they know that's where the strength is. With Blaine Gabbert at quarterback, turn around, hand it off. Larry Fitzgerald in there to block right now.
Elijah Penny in the backfield on 2nd down. Gabbert throws, and that's off the hands of the newest Cardinal, Gabe Holmes. They signed him off the practice squad yesterday to their active roster.
Well, Bruce Arians does this a lot. Puts in 3 tight ends, makes you think you're going to run the football, and the ball is just delivered a little high and behind Gabe Holmes. It's funny, Bruce Arians told us, we asked him about the tight end situations. We said, well, Jermaine Gresham's sick. He didn't make the trip. We just signed a guy in the lobby.
Right.
It was Gabe Holmes. So he's getting his opportunity here today with some injuries or some guys out at the position.
In the lobby of the hotel, he had been on their practice squad. Now 3rd down and 7 with the play clock winding down. They have a timeout. Don't need it. Gabbert near side, and they pick up the 1st down. It's Jaron Brown, his 1st catch today.
Good execution here. Ball came out of his hand on time. Jaron Brown runs a great route.
Watching the Panthers-Packers game for you on 3rd and 8 just a couple of seconds ago. Cam out the right side, and good decision to put the shoulder down. Could have gone out of bounds, but instead knew where he had to get for the 1st down, and yep, moved the sticks to number 1.
Jones and Holmes. Penny in the backfield. Seals Jones lined up as the fullback. On 1st and goal. Gabbert throws. It's picked off. What a first half for Preston Smith. And a flag at the end of the play.
Well, there's 2 flags on the field. Maybe 3 flags on the field right now.
After the interception, personal foul, horse collar tackle, number 75. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down, and timeout for the 2-minute warning.
Preston Smith had a fumble recovery early. He had that hit on Gabbert, and now his 2nd career interception.
The Washington defense coming up big with a couple of turnovers in the 1st half. This is 3rd and long for Houston.
Yates with a tug at his jersey and almost threw it into the arms as Dante Fowler got to Yates. Just threw it into the arms of a member of Jacksonville, and that's 4th down.
All right, punt team coming on the field for the Texans, down 21-0. Cam Newton and the fellas still in their own territory with a 3rd and long.
Blitz from Matthews. Newton throws. Pass is nearly picked by Blake Martinez. McCaffrey the target.
Packers defense forces a punt. Eli has been great in the 1st half against the Eagles, but here's 3rd and 10.
And now Manning on 3rd down. Great protection and throws a pick right into the arms of Ronald Darby. And Darby still on his feet, spinning, running, still down the sideline, and finally dragged down at the 20-yard line.
And that was just a moment ago. It'll be 1st and 10 right at the edge of the red zone for Nick Foles and the guys trying to get a touchdown to make this a 1-possession game. We will cut back to East Rutherford, New Jersey right now. Here's 1st and 10.
Against Philadelphia than any other team. He's also thrown more interceptions against Philadelphia than any other team. And now Foles looking for 6, and he nearly turned it right back over. Let's go back to Carissa Thompson in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Tom. We go to Minnesota, so the Vikings still in play for that #1 seed. Giants helping them out here. How about this? Case Keenum finds Stephon Diggs for a 20-yard touchdown. Vikings lead this one 24-0. Tom?
There's Mike Zimmer, an old defensive coordinator under Marvin Lewis, and the big story there, the fact that Lewis apparently on his way out after 15 years.
The Bengals not know that he didn't leave yet. You can still play. He didn't leave yet. He's still coaching.
2nd down, and they hand it off to Clement. And he's inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line, and brings up a 3rd down. So we talked about the Eagles and how impressive Foles was on the opening drive. 7 plays, 75 yards, a touchdown. And they've struggled. And now trying to take advantage of the interception thrown by Manning.
Zach Ertz obviously a target in this area. Trey Burton's a guy that should be in the ball game. He plays well and was dangerous in this red area last week.
Foles lays it off for Ajayi, and he's very close to a 1st down. We'll see where they spot it. Yep, right at the 10, 1st down and goal.
Good job of Nick Foles using his eyes, staring down Ertz, then coming to the outlet to Ajayi. Ertz is going to release Nick.
As soon as you hit that,
that's a 1st and goal. Philadelphia will come right back to their drive, but we've got a 2-minute drill for Tyrod Taylor and the Bills.
Taylor incomplete. Clay slipped on the play.
Hit right after he faked the handoff by Kelvin Shepherd.
Straight field goals from 50+. This would be a 48-yarder. So you're not worried about getting yardage for the field goal, trying to get the 1st down and get in the end zone.
Cadet will stay in there at tailback. Final minute of the half. On 3rd and 3. Flushed. Pressured by Jordan Phillips. And he'll run out of bounds. Very close. Looks like he's a yard shy.
Blitz coming again. And that is a touchdown to Zach Ertz.
It's a nice double move by Zach Ertz. Adams actually is in good position, but he uses